Okay, folks. Welcome, everyone. It is 7. It is Monday. It is the 1st of June, and it's our regular meeting. For those of you that are watching us in person, we welcome you. For those of you that are watching us live stream, we welcome you as well. We've got a big agenda tonight. We're going to add an item from our earlier meeting, our special budget workshop meeting that kicked off at 5. So that started at 5, and now we're here at 7. So without anything else, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Please stand for our invocation from Reverend Bobby Herring. Remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for the privilege of gathering here this evening for this meeting of the business of the town of Hope Mills. We lift up in prayers the elected officials, the town representatives, the town employees, the first responders, and especially the citizens of Hope Mills. Father, we pray that all discussions of this meeting will be done civilly and respectfully, by all knowing that all business of this body affects all the citizens. May all decisions made here this evening be made with priority, given to the idea of the best interest for all of Hope Mills. We pray for the guidance and wisdom, and we pray for your blessings upon this meeting and for the days to come for the mighty town of Hope Mills. We pray this in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Thank you, Reverend Bobby Herring, for those words. Thank you very much. Item 1, approval of the agenda. Do we have an addition or any deletions to the agenda?
Mayor, I'd like to add an item for the finance director presentation.
That'll be under number 3, presentations. It will be item C. It'll be after all of the chair committee reports, the finance director's presentation, the one she presented earlier with slides. That will be item C.
I make a motion we approve the agenda with that addition unless you have anything else.
Second.
We have a motion, have a second. All in favor? Seeing none opposed, the agenda is now approved. We move right into the manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. I'd like to welcome everybody this evening who took the time to come to spend this evening with us at our board meeting. And I'd like to welcome our viewing public on our live stream. This is the Board of Commissioners Managers meeting, or Managers report for the June 1st board meeting. First order of business is the Tau Epsilon Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. They will be conducting their 3rd annual Gun Violence Awareness Walk right here at Hope Mills Municipal Park, June 6, 9 a.m. We welcome everyone out to come take a part in this very impactful event. The Hope Mills Chamber Golf Tournament will be held on July 31st, 2026. They are actually taking, their registration is open for individual players and teams of 4. Our Town of Hope Mills Liberty and Juneteenth Liberty and Legacy celebration will be at the Hive at Hope Mills, June 20th. I think we are officially filled with food trucks, but I think we do have a couple more vendor spots open. The Hive at Hope Mills also has a mercantile market that they're taking registration for now. It's open on, it will be held the 1st and 3rd Saturdays of every month between May and December. Next, we have the rescheduled bike rodeo with our police department. It was rained out, so the new date is Wednesday, June 10th from 5 to 7 right here at Municipal Park. Very, very impactful event for the kids. Town staff and elected officials actually celebrated with the Walmart on Hope Mills Road for that grand reopening. If you've been inside, if you haven't been inside of it, looks really, really nice. It was very impressive to see their team and how cohesive they are, and the individuals that you don't see when you're shopping that are very instrumental in your experience while you're in there. This event I wanted to highlight because it's something very impactful when you're talking about police and our relationship with our community. They just started their Cop Out, Not Drop Out program, and it's a program focused on providing our youth with opportunities to build confidence, discipline, and positive relationships with law enforcement. These are images just from a random Friday afternoon, and to see them with our youth doing push-ups, keeping them disciplined. I think I heard a little kid say something negative to a female, and he was redirected. And I do think that's very, very important to build that relationship between our youth and our police force. The next slide, I would like to highlight a few things from our Economic Development Committee. We haven't had meetings over the last 8 months because for the last 8 months, the committee served as members of the steering committee for our Hope Mills Land Use Plan update, and that has concluded. The draft is on the website. I want everybody to view it. But at our last meeting we had 2 weeks ago, we did have a discussion about data centers. That is a very, very hot topic in our region right now. We did not come up with any recommendations, but we did talk about possibly providing a recommendation to the board about maybe directing our planning department to do some fact finding, maybe a moratorium or some things to put some zoning regulations in place. What you're seeing at the county level and City of Fayetteville, they're doing just that, and we don't want Hope Mills to be left out in terms of making sure that we're protected in case one of those centers do find some kind of interest in Hope Mills. Next thing, these are Parks and Rec events. We are taking registration now for our Independence Day Parade. Our Hoops After Dark program starts on June 12th. That's a very popular 3-on-3 tournament. We have girls flag football and a couple other things as well. Our chamber, again, I'm highlighting the golf tournament. This is a image of our new chamber board. And then the last 2 pages of the manager's report will remain updates on our infrastructure projects. The 2 that you see most regularly are the Rockfish and Golfy Road widening project and the Camden Road project. I think combined those projects are about $470 million worth of investment in the town of Hope Mills infrastructure. Thank you.
All right. A lot happening in Hope Mills. Every weekend there's something. Okay, next up is item B, board member comments. I'll start with Commissioner Mitchell.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out. Please share with everyone in the community and town manager, I've seen it today, the summer meal schedule. We need to make sure we get that out there. A young lady came the other day, and she said, "Are y'all open at noontime?" Unfortunately, we don't do noontime unless it's requested, and we partner with someone. But there are kids out of school now, and we got to make sure that they get a meal. But I will assist any way I can. And this past weekend, we had our first ever Cumberland County Veterans Council Widows and Widowers event, and it was well attended. We had over 65 people in attendance, and I was concerned about it being a success. Let me tell you how I measure success, and I was telling the post commander, I said, listen, if one person make a connection, we have been successful. There's a young lady that was in attendance. She said, I was 20 years old when I seen this lady right here. I am now 65. Old friendships was reconnected. That's what I call success. Thank you.
Commissioner Hamilton?
Good evening, everybody. Those that are here this evening, there's so many people here. It's nice to see all these people here. And those that are online, thank you for everybody joining in this evening, and hope you enjoy the meeting. Thank you.
Commissioner Marley?
Just like to welcome everybody. We got a pretty lengthy agenda, so I won't hold it up.
Commissioner Trimble?
Good evening and welcome. It's good to see all the faces here tonight, and thanks for joining us, everybody here and everybody online. And I know we have a lengthy meeting, but I have just a little bit of something I want to say to everybody tonight. We were asked this week if we have the courage and fiduciary responsibility to address unfunding non-essential positions from each department at Hope Mills. Now, the off-the-cuff answer from this person, I'm not talking for a single person on this board, I'm talking for me, was yes. But then I sat down and I thought about it for quite a while, from the time that question was asked until tonight. And let me just explain why my answer is yes, I have that courage. The courage and the fiduciary responsibility are two sides of the same coin. I was elected to sit up here and be responsible for every one of you out there. Not only you, but these employees. So when you hear us talk about this budget and things that we are looking at doing, you understand what a rock and a hard place that we are between. The townspeople over here, the employees over here, and every one of us will be affected as well. We live in the town. If there's a town tax increase, it falls on us as well. So we have a lot to talk about over the next few weeks. We want your input. We have a meeting on June 8th for a public hearing. I want to see this room fuller than this, and I want to hear all of your opinions. It's important to us. But I also want to share something with you on the other side of the coin. The fiduciary responsibility is to the citizens, but we also have that responsibility to the employees of this town. I was on that side of it. Out in the business world, whenever budgets need cut, guess who goes? I was one of them. I worked in the banking industry. Our bank was bought out. They started closing offices, closed an office that was a few miles from ours, and we were really sad for the employees. Should have been sad for ourselves because they brought those employees to my office. I was an assistant manager. They got rid of me, my manager, and my 2 part-timers. We no longer had positions there. We had 48 years between us. But this is the business world. So we have some really difficult decisions. So I know whenever you see someone mentioned earlier that we have on our next meeting at 5:30, we're going to talk about staff. That's difficult for me. It really is because I was on that end of it. So I want you to know I understand both sides of it. I understand what it means to look after the citizens, but I also understand what it means to lose a job if the business doesn't have the money to pay you anymore. So I just want to tell you, come out to the meeting. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what this town has to say that's important to them, because that's what we're doing here. We're not sitting here deciding what's important to us. We're deciding what's important to all of you. And I just want you to know that I don't see balancing this budget on the backs of our public safety. I think we need to look at each department. If you have looked at the budget or know anything about it, the one thing that is on there is freezing 5 of our police officers' positions. If they leave, they will not be replaced. I personally don't think that that's something that the town needs to do, but again, it will be discussed, and we will see where that goes. I think each department needs to share in this, not just one. So to end this, I just want to state, I am not for a tax increase. I've heard it, what has been said. I understand it all. I really do. But I have to look after the people of the town of Hope Mills as well as the employees, and I'm not for a tax increase. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Hope Page.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome in the audience and those that are online. I want to say something to what we talked about earlier in the 6 o'clock meeting, talking about COLAs and how the state has not come with their budget. I'm a state employee, I just became a permanent employee May 1st. I worked for the local government, for the county, for 13 and a half years. I worked for the state starting in 2019. I started a new position in 2023 as a state employee. I have 19 years is where I stopped. I was a temporary employee for 8 months. I got to my 19th year and 5 months before I reached my 20th year. So for the last 8 months, I have been a temporary employee. I was not permanent. So I understand what that looks like with cuts. This is the first time in my entire adult history that I have ever been a dependent. And fortunately, I have a spouse to be dependent on, as well as our children. So I understand what the need is and the necessity. With that, I wanted to say that I attended a ribbon cutting this past Saturday at Christ Worship Center, and it was amazing. Chief Kane was there, and Dollinger, and Chancellor of the town, McLaughlin, was there. It was well attended. It is a beautiful location, and their goal is to give back to the community. We were given a brief, really quick tour of the entire facility to include the children's church. It is an amazing facility. And lastly, tomorrow is a big day for a lot of children in Cumberland County. Southview High School students, congratulations. Tomorrow is your day. It is your graduation, and I wish you all the best and success. And maybe this year, the 2026 year, a mural can be put on the wall if the families follow the do not clap when your name is called. I want to say the last mural was the year my son graduated in 2019. So that's it.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Yes, today kicked off graduation through all of our Cumberland County high schools. Today going into tomorrow and into Wednesday. And I congratulate every one of these seniors that are walking that stage at the Crown because they have accomplished a goal, but their journey is not finished. Not at all. It's just starting again. We had, on Monday, Memorial Day, we had another exceptionally well-attended ceremony. We really did. It was really moving, even though the weather, and of course outside too, we usually have them in the park, but you know, our park is under construction. So the last couple of years, we've had them in the gym. So that was well attended. Prior to that, on Saturday, I was honored to join about 500 community members and Cumberland County firefighters to be part of something that happened right here in Hope Mills, the first ever Tunnel to Towers T2T 5-run walk, and it started at 9/11. Ron was part of that. I think he's here. He ran. We started out together. He left me. He didn't come back. He didn't. Nonetheless, we started this to show the support for first responders, military members, law enforcement officers, EMS workers, and their families. One of the speakers at Towers to Tunnel was a speaker by the name of Joanne Yost. I'm going to read this. She's a Gold Star wife that said the foundation helped her rebuild her life after her husband, Master Sergeant Anthony Ray Charles Yost of the 3rd Special Forces Group, was killed in Iraq in 2005. She described her husband as an amazing husband, father, and friend to a bunch of people. Tony was a weapons instructor, and that's why we were here at Fort Bragg. The Saturday before Thanksgiving, on November 19th, is when she was told that her husband had passed and he was killed in action. Think about that knock on the door, because there's two sides to that front door. And those of us veterans know what that front door means. After becoming a single mother of 3, Yo said she found the strength to move forward. She later survived breast cancer in 2015 and now gives back to cancer patients through her shop. It was emotional to listen to her talk about her husband and her family and her life's journey, as 500 of us were on that golf course that engaged in a 5K run walk. It really was. It was one community, and I just wanted to highlight that, that I was proud to be a part of it, and everybody else. There was a lot of folks that didn't even know about that golf course. They didn't even know it was here. Even the city clerk was there. So, I mean, there was a lot of folks outside Cumberland County that came. Second thing, June 8th is our public hearing. It's been mentioned for the operating budget. We added a presentation tonight that if you really want to be part of this, which we want input from the public about this $22.5 million budget, represents our community, not me, not this board individually, but this is our budget. Next Monday night at 7 is the public hearing. Prior to that, we will engage in budget workshop number 4. At 5:30, this board will get back together again, getting the band back on the stage, and we will continue looking at how we're going to fund the very different items that are in this budget and try to create a budget that is going to represent what's right and best for our community next year. We, as a board, we are committed to working every Monday night in June to get this budget right before we adopt on 29 June. That is a commitment by every member of this board. But we cannot do it without your input. So please, 7 o'clock next Monday, come and tell us what your concerns are, your priorities. And let's make sure that your priorities match the priorities that are in this budget. So I'm asking each of you if you would like to do that. Okay, that's it for me. Presentations, item A, proclamation recognizing gun violence awareness. That's under tab 1, and I think the date is June 6th, right? June 6th is the date. If you didn't participate in it last year, be there this year. It is an excellent, excellent opportunity. Mayor Pro Tem? Are you going to read it down there? You can read it up. You got to read it in the mic. Yeah. You got to read it in the mic.
I don't like using my microphone. I'm so sorry. I don't like using the microphone. Proclamation for National Gun Violence Awareness Day for Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated Tau Epsilon Zeta Chapter. Whereas every day in the United States, more than 325 people are shot, with over 100 tragically losing their lives. And whereas the town of Hope Mills and the Board of Commissioners have demonstrated a commitment to studying the effects of gun violence in our local community, and whereas the town of Hope Mills, in partnership with the Hope Mills Police Department and neighboring communities, continue to foster positive relationships between law enforcement and citizens through community engagement events such as National Night Out, in an effort to reduce gun violence and crime. And whereas Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated Tau Epsilon Zeta Chapter, chartered in Hope Mills, North Carolina on May 31st, 2003, is dedicated to extending the founding principles of the sorority to Hope Mills and Cumberland County. And whereas social action is a priority for Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and they aim to inspire, encourage, and empower the sisterhood and take an active role in raising awareness on key issues, including voter registration, mobilizing the community, and fostering relationships with elected officials. And whereas the Tau Epsilon Zeta chapter continues to be an integral part of the Hope Mills community, contributing to the town's educational, civic, cultural, and economic development, and whereas we honor the memory of those whose lives have been tragically taken by gun violence and extend our deepest sympathy to their families and communities. We also stand in solidarity with survivors as they continue to heal while working towards a future of safety and peace for all.
Awareness Day, yeah, I left it out, in Hope Mills, North Carolina, and encourage all citizens to observe this day by reflecting on the importance of reducing gun violence. Proclaimed this first day of June, 2026.
Yes, sir, I'm coming. Oh, good.
Okay, next up, the backbone, the committees. And it's time for the chairs to come forward to the mic and state your name and the committee you represent and give the board a brief update on what your committees have been up to the past couple months since we've been idle. We kind of pushed off the committee reports because of the budget, but tonight we said no more. Tonight is your turn, and we're going to kick it off with Appearance Commission.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, Town Manager, Town staff, fellow committee members, and citizens of Hope Mills. My name is Corey Smith, the Chairman of Hope Mills Appearance Commission. Thank you for allowing me to speak on behalf of the Hope Mills Appearance Commission this evening. And we have joined tonight as Victoria Smith and Sally Bailey, the co-chair and the secretary. First, I would like to say that while our commission may be small in number than it has been in the past, we are no less effective. In fact, our members are more motivated than ever, are committed to making a meaningful impact in the town of Hope Mills. We have many exciting projects and initiatives planned that we believe will enhance the beauty, character, and sense of community throughout our town. Tonight, I would like to share some of the projects we are currently working on and discussing our vision for the coming year. Yard of the Month program. We are excited to announce the return of the Yard of the Month program. This program will feature a refreshed look and renewed excitement for recognizing residents who take pride in maintaining and beautifying their properties. Recipients will receive a professional design yard sign to display in their yard for recognition of their achievement for that current month. This program will be available to residents located within the town of Hope Mills city limits. We would like to see outside residents of the city become a part of this program in the future. Our goal is to encourage neighborhood pride, beautification, and community engagement while recognizing those who help make Hope Mills a beautiful place to live. The next is Christmas Decor of the Season, Best Lit House. We are also exploring a new seasonal recognition program for the holidays, Christmas Decor of the Season or Best Lit House. This award will be open to any residents with a Hope Mills address and would celebrate the creativity, spirit, and joy that residents bring to our community during the holiday season. During a time of the year when families gather and communities come together, this program would help spread holiday cheer and create opportunities for neighbors to enjoy and appreciate one another's efforts. We believe it will truly bring light during the best season of the year. One of the most exciting opportunities before us tonight is the proposal for a community garden along the Greenway. This idea originated during conversation with Ben Herden and the agricultural program at Liberty Christian School. Initially, the idea centered around planting blueberry bushes for the public enjoyment. As the Appearance Commission discussed we realized the potential for something much greater. Rather than a simple planting project, we envision a true community garden, a place where residents, students, families, and visitors can gather, learn, volunteer, and grow together. This garden would become a beautiful and welcoming feature along our Greenway, an educational resource for local students, a place where families can connect with nature and one another, a symbol of community pride and stewardship, a project that showcases Hope Mills' commitment to preserving our small town charm while investing in our future. Liberty Christian School has expressed interest in helping oversee and maintain this garden, creating an ongoing partnership between the school and the town of Hope Mills. We envision this becoming a signature community project, complete with a ribbon-cutting ceremony involving the mayor, the commissioners, town staff, Liberty Christian School, and the members of the community. Community gardens has a unique ability to bring people together. They foster volunteerism, encourage healthy living, provide educational opportunities, and create spaces where neighbors can build relationships. In a growing town like Hope Mills, projects like this help preserve the sense of community that makes our town special. Tonight, we respectfully ask the board for permission and approval to move forward with this project and request your favorable consideration and vote to allow us to begin planning this exciting addition to our town. Welcoming flags to Main Street. Another project currently under construction or consideration, is the purchase and installation of new Welcome to Hope Mills and Town of Hope Mills flags to be displayed along Hope Mills Road from Camden Road to the post office. These flags would create a welcoming entrance into our community and help reinforce the charm and identity of Hope Mills. As our town continues to grow, it is important that we remember growth is not only about building new things, it is also about being good stewards of what we already have. This means maintaining our streetscape, sidewalks, landscaping, public spaces, and business corridors. It means taking pride in the appearance of our town and creating an environment that reflects the values of our community. Our Main Street corridor deserves attention and investment. These flags would be a visible reminder of our town's pride and commitment to preserving the character that makes Hope Mills unique. Storage and workspace needs. As we continue to expand our projects and initiatives, a recurring concern has emerged among many of the town committees and commissions: adequate storage and workspace. The town of Hope Mills has grown significantly, and our committees and commissions continue to take no longer roles in serving the community. Take a larger role in serving the community. We need a secure and accessible location to storage materials, equipment, signs, decorations, and other assets that belong to the town. These items do not belong to the individual member. They belong to the citizens of Hope Mills and are purchased for the benefit of the community. It is becoming increasingly difficult to ask volunteers to store town property in their homes, especially where those materials need to be readily available to multiple groups. we respectfully ask that the board consider long-term solutions that would provide committees and commissions with adequate storage space and a location where members can effectively plan and prepare for the future projects. So our accomplishments since the beginning of the year. While we are excited about what lies ahead, we are equally proud of what has already been accomplished. Since the beginning of the year, we have ordered and received new Appearance Commission branded tablecloths and a tent featuring both of the commissions and town branding. We have partnered with Ben and Liberty Christian School to improve all of the town gateway signs. New flowers have been planted at those signs. Trees and shrubs surrounding the gateways have been professionally pruned and maintained. Fresh mulch has been installed. Additional flowers are scheduled to be planted in the near future. We are currently ordering nameplates and branded shirts for the commission members to wear during town meetings and community events. We have been working with Parks and Rec regarding the Appearance Commission sponsored ball signs. When a player hits the sponsored sign, they will receive a special gift from the commission. We are also working toward installing similar signs at the softball fields to ensure all athletes have the same opportunities and recognitions. Because right now I think there's only 2 and they've put them on the baseball field over at Brower Park. The improvements made at the gateway sign are already making a noticeable difference, and we are proud of the progress that has been achieved throughout collaboration and volunteer efforts. I would like to recognize our recognition of Liberty Christian School agricultural program. At this time, the Appearance Commission would like to formally recognize the Liberty Christian School agricultural program for their outstanding service, dedication, and commitment to the beautification of the town of Hope Mills. Their hard work at the town's gateway signs has helped transform these important entry points into attractive and welcoming features and represent our community with pride. Before I finish going with this, I think Victoria, our secretary, she had one other thing she wanted to share real fast.
How are you guys doing? It's not about the Liberty Christian School, so I did want to address one other thing. I would like to address the importance of maintaining the annual budget allocations for our town's committee and commissions. These funds are not simply these funds are not simply discretionary spending. They are resources that allow our volunteer boards and committees to effectively serve the residents of Hope Mills and support the town's goals. Each committee and commission is made up of volunteers who dedicate their time, energy, and expertise without compensation. We serve because we care deeply about our community and want to help make Hope Mills a better place to live, work, and visit. The modest funding allocated to each group allows us to carry out projects, programs, educational opportunities, community events, and other initiatives that directly benefit our citizens. The total amount budgeted for these groups is only $5,000. If the full amount is not used during the fiscal year, the remaining funds return to the town and become part of the budget process for the following year. These funds are not wasted. They are carefully managed and used only when necessary to fulfill our responsibilities. Without dedicated funding, committees and commissions would be required to come before the town board each time a need arises. This creates unnecessary delays and can unintentionally lead to an unequal treatment. Some groups may receive funding for their projects while others may not, depending on timing, priorities, or available resources. Maintaining separate allocations ensures fairness, transparency, and the ability to each committee to plan and operate effectively. Providing these small budgets demonstrates trust in the volunteers who have been appointed to serve our community. It allows us to be proactive rather than reactive and ensures that we can continue supporting the town's mission without creating additional administrative burdens for the board. We respectfully ask that the board continue to provide dedicated funding for each committee and commission. This investment is small in cost but significant in impact, enabling volunteers to continue working for the betterment of Hope Mills and its residents we serve. Thank you for your consideration and continued support for volunteers who help strengthen our town.
Well said. Oh, one more.
We're almost done.
Okay.
All right. So the Hope Mills Appearance Commission is honored to recognize, if you will, Mr. Ben Herndon of Liberty Christian Academy for his outstanding dedication to Christian education, agricultural literacy, and youth development. As a teacher of mathematics, science, Bible, and agriculture, Mr. Herndon faithfully invest in the lives of his students, helping them grow academically, spiritually, and professionally, and personally, Throughout his instruction and example, he encourages young people to strengthen their faith, develop strong character, and become responsible members of their community. Mr. Hernan also provides valuable agriculture education, teaching students the importance of stewardship, responsibility, and the role agriculture plays in everyday life. His hands-on approach helps students gain particular skills while developing an appreciation for God's creation. Beyond the classroom, Mr. Hernan serves alongside his wife in mentoring and guiding the next generation. Together, they create opportunities for students to learn, serve, lead, and grow in their faith. Their shared commitment has positively impacted countless young people and strengthened our community. The Hope Mills Appearance Commission is grateful for the faithful service of Mr. and Ms. Hernan. Mrs. Hernan, if you will come down too. Additionally, the students, faculty, and leadership of Liberty Christian Academy has demonstrated the true spirit of community partnership through their volunteerism and service, leaving a lasting impact on our town. So on behalf of the Appearance Commission and the citizens of Hope Mills, we are honored to present these awards to you and your students in recognition of their exceptional service and dedication. And if you will, like I said, Ben's here now. We're going to present him with one for Liberty Christian School. The academic, Sally, you want to come up here too? So this one's for Liberty Christian Academy Agricultural Club. And this is going to be for Ben, for Mr. Ben Hernan and his wife. So now we would like to recognize Cody Nance and his family, one of the students in the agricultural program that served and helped beautify the gateways and their time.
Anybody want to come forward and take pictures, make sure that you come on up and get them.
And Layla, is it Diego? Diego? Dag. Okay.
Emily, can you take a picture, please, for the town?
And we have this one here. Madison Jansen is not here. I'm going to give this to Ben to give to.
You've got to include the liaison.
Yeah.
You got to get your liaison.
Seriously, Sally, you're the tallest one. All right, thank you.
So in closing, the Appearance Commission is energized and excited about the future. We have ambiguous goals, strong partnership, and shared commitment to making Hope Mills the very best it can be. We would especially like to thank Commissioner Lisa Trimmel for her continued support of the Appearance Commission. Her guidance, knowledge, and encouragement have been invaluable as we work to improve the beautification of our town. Commissioner Trimmel truly cares about Hope Mills and its residents, and her dedication to making our community the best it can be is evident in all that she does. We are grateful for her leadership and partnership. We would also like to thank the mayor, the Board of Commissioners, town staff, and all of our community partners who continue to support our efforts and help bring these projects to life. Thank you.
You're welcome. Wait a minute, you're not done yet. You're not done yet. Come back.
They all left already, but I wanted to say that my niece was the first high school graduating class from Liberty Christian Academy. Yeah, so her class was the first class to ever graduate from Liberty Christian Academy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Come back to the mic. I got one question for you. Same question I have for all the committees tonight. You know, funding ended, you know, for this year. Is there anything that you guys need for funding that you haven't put in?
That we haven't put in.
Just want to make, because tonight's it.
Sally, come on up here.
Is there,
I'm gonna let Sally speak because she got a hold of me earlier.
I don't know how much money's remaining in your budget. Is it too late?
Yeah, it's too late.
Brittany, is it too late? No, it's not too late. Come on up, Sally.
Okay, we've got, I know we've got a big deal coming up in this country. 4th of July, 250 years of
Yes.
this country. Okay, we would like to do the gazebo well. I went out Saturday and bought flags to start decorating. We've looked at ribbons. We've looked at a banner to go in front of it that says, 250 years of this wonderful country, okay? So we would like to decorate that for the 4th of July. Really, this is, coming out of our pocket because the funding's already stopped, okay? So I've not planned on doing anything else, maybe some other flags and stuff around the town hall, maybe in the flower pots, stuff like that, because I just don't have the money to do it, okay? That's it, okay? So anyway, so we plan to do that. There's still some flowers that need to be planted. There's something put out in front of the town hall, but I'm not sure what it is. But I know the ones at the Parks and Rec building are dead pansies. And we probably don't want that to look that way this summer. So we probably need a little money to buy some flowers that will live all through summer, take the heat, take the sand, require a little maintenance.
Thank you, Sally. Brittany, can we still do any funding for the committees?
Well, because if we can, the flags for Main Street would be one that we were planning on because we thought the money had ended. The actual greenway for the community garden, if it's agreed upon the board, we would like to do that with the Liberty Christian Academy. We would need money for that to start that, or, and I think that was the two that we needed to be funded, and also to make the signs for the Yard of the Month and the holiday decor. That was another thing. We were going to have to make a sign for those.
All right, so according to the rules, you'd have to send your funding request to your liaison, which would be Commissioner Frimmel. So if you were to do that, she can make sure that Brittany gets it, and possibly here, I would say no later than the end of this week.
Okay.
If we're going to do anything at all, it'd have to be in the next couple days.
Okay. I just need to get with you to find out exactly how much we have left. That's
Yeah, so that was going to be my suggestion. Initially, we were adhering to the internal deadline of May 30th, but that didn't exactly mean that the committees didn't have remaining funds. So what I can do is get that information tomorrow and let the committee chairs know how much money they have, and then they can respond with whatever requests they can fit within the budget that's remaining, as long as the board and Brittany agree on a drop-dead deadline where that has to be submitted.
Brittany, let's just address that now. What day this week do you need? What's your cutoff day?
Can we plan for what, by Friday, if that works?
There it is. Committees, you got till Friday.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as you get with me in the morning, and then I can start working on it.
Committees, you got till Friday. Work through your liaisons, which will work. Once the liaisons approve your request, I'm going to say this again, once the liaisons approve the budget's request, it'll go over. No, not approved, but.
Yeah, I want to make sure we.
Sorry.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, liaison don't approve it.
Yeah. Just want to make sure that the liaisons are good with your request before it goes over to Ashley.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Thank you very much.
May I ask a question?
Yes, Ally.
We don't have the money in the budget to put the flags out this year.
To put what, I didn't, are you,
Are we gonna have the money to put in the budget to do the American flags out?
come up to the mic, Sally. We do them every year, don't we?
Yes, we do, but I did not know whether we were gonna have the money in the budget to put out the American flags this year.
Are you talking about this now, or are you talking about
Now.
next year?
No, for this year.
Okay.
I mean, we usually put them out, most of the time, we used to put them out before Memorial Day.
Yeah.
I noticed we did not get it done, and so I was concerned over, were we going to have the money in the budget to pay the company to come in and put the flags up for us? Now, we're talking American flags all the way downtown, okay?
Is that a Lamarco question or a Don question? I don't know. It's not a Don.
It's Lamarco.
So it's gotta be Lamarco. Not sure what.
Right. Every year, the town put out flags. Every year. So the question is, are there money in the budget to display those flags this year, right?
Sally, how many flags do we actually already have?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, every year.
I don't know. Lamarco's gonna come up and address it.
We already have several of those flags already purchased, so.
Thank you, Sally.
So, the question is, we'll take a look at the inventory, but I want to say we have all the flags we need to put those out already. So, we've purchased several already, so there's no need to buy any additional.
So your department's gonna put them out?
Yes.
Or is with the appearance commission?
Yes.
I was gonna say, I have a box of flags that was dropped off. We were donating those to the veterans,
Give them to Lamarco.
but if we need to donate them to the Parks and Rec instead of the veterans,
What,
I could bring them to you, Mark.
what type of flags you have?
They're the, I think, 3x5
U.S. flags?
US flags. They were donated
Look,
to us.
look at them first.
Say it again?
Yeah, give them to Lamarco first, let them look at them before we can decide, Okay.
Yeah. It's about time we need to go back and inventory what we have already, but I want to say we got several already.
Okay.
In stock. so.
Talked about putting them on the pole, but I'll turn them into the market.
That'll work.
All right. Next committee up is cultural arts.
Hello. So, Arts and Culture, we are the town's newest committee, and we've really embraced the opportunity to identify and promote the arts and all things cultural, and to enhance the quality of life in our community, and hopefully that's working. Our goal is to encourage participation in arts activities that are both enjoyable and enriching to the residents of all ages. So over the past year, we've explored opportunities to expand our local arts programming and cultural experiences. This has included researching the process, cost, and potential cultural impact of a community mural featuring the talents of a local Cumberland County artist. We've also partnered with our local nonprofit community theater by assisting with the co-sponsoring of a special event presented in our recreation center, Peter and the Starcatcher last year. So in celebration of Charter Day, we're also proud to sponsor a performance by the Southview High School Jazz Band. The performance will take place at 11 a.m. on July 4th at the Lake Park Gazebo, and it promises to be a wonderful addition to the day's festivities. We're especially excited to announce a new opportunity designed for our senior population. Plans are underway for a recreational theater program that will encourage participants to sing, act, and perhaps even dance as they work together to create and perform their own show. Additional details will be announced soon for that. We look forward to continuing our efforts to bring meaningful arts and culture experiences to our community and creating opportunities for residents to connect, create, and celebrate together. We have any questions?
Well, it's very
So
nice.
if you can sing, act, or even dance.
Even
Even dance.
Even try.
They can operate power tools, paintbrushes, hammers, nails.
correct.
Yeah, and Saul's.
And so, and so.
So is there anything that you guys are trying to purchase? You already got it?
We have $420 left, Brittany, and we will have that to you by Friday. Thank you so much.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I'm asking all the committees, this is your week. So whatever you want, if you can get it into Brittany or Ashley by the end of the week. We thank you very much.
Thank you.
Historic Preservation Commission.
Hi, Commissioners, Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor, and staff. You probably know who I am, Chairman of Historic Preservation Commission. You should have on your table, I asked Ashley to go ahead and run off our activities and accomplishments and some of the things we're working on, as well as we have a policy, we keep a running budget. And so you should have the final page of what our budget is, what we've used, what we have left, what we'd like to do with the monies we have left. I wish, Appearance Commission, that we had gotten together. We've been working on Charter Day programs, and HPC has already purchased 100 little, flags to go within Lake Park, the bunting for the fence there, the gazebo and all that, because we've been preparing to present our program for Charter Day in conjunction with the 250th anniversary. We are continuing, I'm going to take my glasses off because I don't have my reading glasses. We are continuing, one of our goals is to remain active in our community events. We participate in the Police Foundation activities, Christmas parade, Christmas open house, trunk and treat. We also, this year, are planning the special Charter Day celebration. It's the 135th anniversary of the signing of the charter that did occur on March 9th, 1891. And that's going to include music, as Cultural Arts said, some speeches, food trucks, light refreshment. It's going to occur right after the parade on the 4th of July itself. We're real happy about doing that this year in conjunction with Parks and Rec and the town. We are continuing. Right now we're working on our standards, working with Emily in the Planning and Zoning Department, doing our standards and for our certificates of appropriateness and whatnot in the town. That's a big undertaking, but Emily has been very, very helpful in doing that, and it's probably going to be, I believe we said, about a year process putting that document together. In addition to that, I have traipsed out in the woods a few times. We are working on a GPS mapping system for the trails that will be featured in Heritage Park Phase 2. And I don't get it because I don't get technology, but it's something about you have a little scanner thing and you zap it and it tells you all about it. So, okay, that. I'll write up whatever you want. Just don't ask me to tell you what the heck it is because I don't know if it's technology. A few of us have also been participating in certified local government training classes. I'm telling you, I really want us to pursue this. So I got a thing today. Main Street Development, CLG, up to $750,000. And we can't apply for it because we're not a CLG. And it's real disappointing when I look at that and think of all the wonderful things we could do with that money. This year and last year, we worked on our mobile museum, which is, and Parks and Rec had blown up some pictures and whatnot for us, and they loaned us some easels, and we've been purchasing our own easels along the way. But it's kind of neat because we can set up our mobile museum at events like the police department, the Police Foundation event that we participated in. We can put it anywhere. It's great. We call it our mobile museum since we don't have an official brick and mortar structure. We went ahead and we pulled up the carpet on the top level of the Diaz of the chapel, and the floors are really beautiful. Yes, do they need to be refinished? Yes, because wear and tear, on the carpet rubbing against them, but the actual structural integrity and the wood itself is lovely. So that's an ongoing project we're working on. We are also still working with the town in the collaboration of pursuing the National Historic Landmark designation for the TCO Chapel. And we kind of need to know what's going on with that. Miss Ruffin, Hanbury Conservation, she sent some emails back and forth. I forwarded those to Chancellor. I think he did a contract. She had a question about something in the contract, but she's ready to get going on doing that. So we're here to assist her when she's ready. We have also had a few meetings, and I believe, Mayor, you sat in on one of them with Donnie McDowell of the Tuscarora Nation and exploring the burial grounds and tribal grounds that go along the Rockfish Creek. And maybe one of the things we'd like to look at next year is getting someone from the architectural department of the State Historic Preservation Office in and exploring, seeing what we find down there. And our big project this year, and what we wanted to do was, if you look at the bronze plaque that's on the Thomas Campbell Oakman Chapel, when we've gotten permission from the owners, property owners, but there are some buildings like the old post office and the Alice Gilbert building, and we wanted to do plaques that give you a little history. This is the site of the former apothecary built in 1913, for example, or something like that. And we do have that appropriated on our budget. When we went through our budget, we had put down 3 plaques. They are very expensive. They're bronze plaques. They're mounted, in the mortar. And we were like, okay, well, we had a little bit of money left over. Could we go ahead and make that 5 plaques instead of 3 plaques? And we would decide, there's several buildings to choose from. And I think what else we've been doing. We've been doing a lot of different things. There's a gentleman that's moved into town, and I think that he has been in contact with our stormwater department and looking at the possibility of channels and sluices that were cut that connect the Pine Bluff Mill to Mill Number 2, and how that would have increased productivity and water flow through Little Rockfish Creek coming down from Beaver Creek, and perhaps affected the output of energy and whatnot in the mill. So this is something I'm researching. And you should have here any information. Does anyone have any questions for me? And I want to say, Mr. Marley, thank you so much. He is so helpful to us. And he got some maps blown up for us, and just, he's been great. And we really appreciate you being our liaison. But do you have any questions for us?
Go ahead. Yes.
Sharon, could you and Corey get together, share phone numbers, and you guys can talk about the decorations and so forth so that we don't purchase double?
I agree. Can we include the appearance on our next Zoom call for the Charter Day?
Yes, we can. It was HBC and Arts and Culture, and we've been probably meeting for a couple of months, but we did actually just purchase our event. And I want to commend them as well. They made their purchases before by last week's deadline, but I commend the board for extending it out. But I will share with you guys what their plans were. We actually purchased bunting and flags as well. And so just to make sure that everybody's on the same page, I'll do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anything else? Yes, sir?
The doors.
Yeah, we were just talking about the doors.
The doors.
The doors. The doors.
I'm going to share this.
Sure.
We have the campus just cut the ribbon on a new trade center,
Okay?
Bragg Boulevard, and what the old Benz building, Mercedes-Benz. Yeah, I call it Benz. In August, we will have a lot of carpentry students that will be looking for community projects.
Mm-hmm.
I plan on introducing them to the doors.
Oh, good. I mean,
And
it's
Don,
the,
and that goes to anything else we have in the town.
it's the veneer on the outside that's rotting. The actual interior structure itself, I think, is still intact. But the veneer, and that, you know, of course, is what you see when you drive by. That's the problem.
Yep.
But yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Be a great community project for our college trade students.
And we've been talking about those doors forever.
We have.
We have.
And finally now, Sharon, I have a solution
Yes.
that we will implement come August, in a few months from now.
Okay, that's great.
So just to share that with you, that's a little bit of my vision to at least look at the doors and see what they can do.
Mm-hmm. That'd be wonderful.
It would be.
Floors as well. They do floors as well? Great.
Yep.
Yeah, I was amazed at the condition of the floors. I mean, they were pristine, just pristine.
They're always looking, of course, our college students, and I'm proud to be a part of the college. I always look for, you know, special community projects, because that's how students learn. They do. And so this will be an opportunity when everybody comes back starting in August. I just wanted to share that with you.
Anything else you can think of?
You know, Sharon, I don't have much time left. I want those doors to look red.
I know, right? I mean, I don't want to look down from heaven or whatever and say, why aren't the doors done, you know?
Yeah.
I don't.
Board have any other questions? We're good? We thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
After she's done, or with her?
The whole thing.
Okay.
Before the appearance committee leaves, I just want, and I know that Parks and Rec is going to come up. I just wanted to see which way the Christmas lights are going, what committee is going to actually work on the Christmas lighting this year. Is it going to be Parks and Rec? Is it going to be appearance? Or are you guys going to do this thing together?
Over the last couple of years, the Appearance Committee has taken care of the chapel and right around the lakefront area.
Okay.
And then the light pole has always been taken care of by the Christmas Committee itself. And of course, Parks and Rec has installed them and put them in place. We've talked once about merging the Christmas Decoration Committee and the Appearance Committee together. So that'll be one committee. And they will be in charge of basically all the decorations, any future purchases. And because the Christmas Committee for the last 2 years, I think it's been 2 years, maybe 3, has made a good start. We've had our ups and downs. But if you went down by the lake this year, when you actually had poles that had power on them, we had lights on the poles, that really looked marvelous. And we had more lights left up, but there's a lot of poles that have no power to it. As we're finding out, if it doesn't have a transformer, if it doesn't have a street light, they cannot put power on to plug it in. We're going to continue to work on it. And that would probably fall, we've always worked with Maxie Dove on that. And I know he's really busy now, but that probably should fall over more to Public Works. I think they work more at Duke than Parks and Rec does. I may be wrong on that, but that would be between Lamarco and Don. But it'll be up to the commission to see if they want to merge those two committees together.
Would the Appearance Commission be amenable to Mark's recommendation?
Well, Mayor, I think we talked at the last meeting, we had talked about it, and due to the Parks and Rec having so much involvement in it, and having to use Parks and Rec for other things, we had decided to maybe let the Parks and Rec just do all of the decoration. That way we're not having two commissions, or, you know, Parks and Rec and the commission trying to get together and work something we were gonna just turn it back over like we did the E-Box project, to the Parks and Rec for them, because they already decorate some of it anyways.
Okay,
They have the storage.
We can do that as well.
okay.
So that's what we had talked about.
Yeah,
trying to do that.
it doesn't really matter. I just think dissolving the Christmas decoration committee, because most of the information we've already got, we know where to order it, so on and so forth, depending upon what that we're budgeted for next year for new decorations. Parks and Rec does store most of that stuff, so, and they do install most of it, so.
Okay. So it'll
They want
stay
to go
with
that
you.
way too. I look at that as that should be the commission's decision, not necessarily ours, but.
While you're standing here, Mark, go ahead and give your report. I know I jumped over a homeless committee, but I'll
right.
circle back.
My name is Mark Hess. I'm the current chairperson for the Parks and Rec Advisory Committee. I always looked at Parks and Rec as sort of the most visible item of the city outside of the police department and fire department. I don't really notice that, well, I do now, but I see them all the time, but you don't see too many of the Parks and Rec and Public Works and the inspectors ride around the little white cars. You don't see a lot of them. They're out there, but you don't notice them. You do notice the parks. You do notice the police department and the fire department. And being on the advisory committee, we have the, I guess it's an advantage that there's very little planning we have to do because the department does most of the planning, because every year we have the bunny hop, every year we have all our little functions. They take care of all the baseball and the soccer and the wrestling and all the other different tournaments we have throughout the year, as well as summer camp. But what we have been working on primarily lately is, of course, sports, baseball, soccer, all that, which is very visible. You see it every day out here. Maxie Dove does a good job with that. We have currently registration going on for youth summer camps that started in April, and summer camps will start on June 8th and will go through July 31st. A lot of little things like Little Explorers, youth soccer. There's a wrestling camp and a wrestling tournament camp. There's actually two camps and one tournament coming up. That's sort of new. Girls flag football, and all that's available on the Parks and Rec website, as well as we have multiple classes for youth, middle age, and us old people, so we can learn how to play pickleball and whatever, various other classes coming up. Now, the city manager covered Juneteenth, Liberty and Legacy celebration. That is going to go on at the Hive. This is the first year for the Hive. The last couple of years, we've always had it on the other side of the interstate at Dirtbag Ales. And this year, of course, we're going to have music, cultural performances, vendors, food trucks. There's going to be an open market with up to 40 vendors, 7 food trucks, and 15 artist slots are going to be available. I think most of those have been taken up already. And we move on to Independence Day. The kickoff is June 27th. And being that I've been on the committee for like 4 years, I get a lot of comments like, why are we not doing it on the 4th of July? Number one, everybody can do it on the 4th of July. Secondly is fireworks. We've had this discussion over the years too. It's cheaper to do it before the 4th of July than on the 4th of July. We can get more bang for our dollar. And so we made a decision, well, the commission at that time made a decision to move it to a Saturday prior to 4th of July. And I think that was a great idea. And everybody seems to like that. Then, of course, on the 4th of July, we're going to have festivities down at the park. I know the Arts Council is doing some stuff. And the lake is going to be, it's going to be busy. But we're going to have the parade, which is going to start at 10 o'clock. I think it forms at about 7. That's going to be at Rockfish Elementary, and it's going to proceed down to Main Street, down to Cameron and Indian Hope Mills Middle. Being that I'm fairly acquainted with Rockfish Road at the moment, I'm interested in seeing how that goes, that short stretch that we're going to do. But I'm sure it's going to all go well. And then the last couple of things. We're continually planning now for Trunk or Treat, for Veterans Day, and of course our Christmas parade and the other festivities with that. We do take a lot of suggestions from the public as well, though they usually tell us what we did badly, not necessarily what we did well. but we do take those suggestions, and we do look at them and see what we can do with them. And you talked about different projects we're doing, the discretionary funds we've had for the last couple of years. If you do walk the golf course trail, we've currently put in 4 benches along the way. We have 1 more, which we just purchased and received, which ends our money for this year pretty much. That will be put in hopefully soon. I'll look into that this week. That'll be the last of the 5 benches that we're going to put in there. I do know they get used. I do get a lot of favorable comments on those benches because most of them are on the tops of the hills or in shaded areas. So they all went off pretty well. And the last really thing is we want to talk about, and we've talked about this quite a bit at the in our committee meetings, is the tennis court. A few years ago, the plan was to get rid of the tennis court because the Public Works building was going to be expanded and take that space. And so, unfortunately, it's sort of fallen into wreck and ruin, and it's not going to get moved. And based on the funding that really originally built it, we can only move it within a half a mile of any direction, which may or may not include the golf course area or some other part of the municipal park, which is pretty full right now anyway. So we've talked about resurfacing it. We did that. That was done at the basketball court. Of course, that was done by donation, and we've gone through that with the damages to it. But we've looked at getting that resurfaced. Of course, it's going to be a budgetary item. I think Lamarco brought that up in the budget hearings. Approximately $40,000 to resurface it, stripe it for both tennis and pickleball. Parks and Rec currently has the netting for it and any fencing that would be necessary to be replaced, but we'd like to see that done. It is used currently on a frequent basis by citizens who play tennis. I don't play tennis. I don't understand the game, but more power to them. But we would like to see that refinished and repainted so somebody does not get hurt on that, okay? As I get older, I break easier. And I know there's a lot of older people play pickleball and younger people as well, but I don't want anybody seeing get hurt just simply because we didn't take care of that surface. As I finish, do we have any questions?
Any questions? Everybody good? We thank you, Mark, for what you guys do.
Thank you.
Okay, I jumped over Homelessness Advisory Committee. You're up next.
Mr. Scott? Mr. Scott? You want to come up? Do you want to come up?
Thank you for coming. We are the Hope Mills Homeless Advisory Committee. I'm the chair. I'm Royal. This is
Maurice Scott.
Maurice Scott. And then we also have Miss Connie Parker. She's our co-chair. She's absolutely amazing, but she couldn't be here tonight.
Right.
She had another obligation. So the reason that I wanted to chat with you tonight is because as a committee, I feel like we've been very successful. I know I shouldn't turn around and address the crowd, but Elise Craver is here. She's the person who started our committee, so we do owe her homage for that. However, I've only been chair of this committee for about a year, about a few months. It's been established for a little over a year. And when it comes to the marketing aspect of the committee and setting up the basic needs for the committee, it hadn't been done yet before I got here. So my main goal when stepping in was to make sure that we had the materials that we needed to let people know who we were, and what our goals were and what we wanted to do. So some of the things that we started off doing was getting our sign put up on the baseball field to let people know that our committee was here, who we were, and what we were doing within the town. Another one of our goals is to purchase some t-shirts, which is in our budget proposal that we sent over in a request to you, and some other items that will be used to share and give outreach to the homeless community. And then also be used for our community events like Juneteenth and all the celebrations that we do throughout the year. I've been very successful since I've been on this committee as chair and getting all of our partnerships and all of the things that we've acquired for free through my partnerships through Cumberland County, so I haven't had to use committee funds. However, considering the fact that we don't have those establishments and those basic needs that we needed to start, like business cards, handout cards, and different things like that, you do have a request for quite a few dollars worth of amount of items that we're looking for. One of those is going to the Miramis Maximus Foundation, which is out of Cumberland County. They're a mental health resource foundation. They have a contract with Amazon, and they have a huge warehouse that has a lot of the needs that we need, like hygiene products and different things for our community. So I put together a list of that. They sent over an itemized invoice, and we are looking to have that covered. That's about $500. And then the other one that we have is an invoice for T-shirts, bags for us to stuff with our hygiene products and different things like that are labeled with our town logo and our committee logo, as well as that company that put that proposal through also threw in some free items as well because of us being a committee and the town and the relationship with Chancellor. So those are the two things that we've put before you to have approved tonight. I want to say it's about $2,300 for all of it. And then the goal with the rest of our funding that we have is going to be to use it for hygiene products and purchasing different things like that. And I'll make sure that I get that submitted to you before Friday.
Did these, how much was it, 20?
It's about $2,300 total. $565 of it goes to the Miramis Maximus Foundation. The other amount goes to the printing shop that's printing the business cards, the T-shirts, the bags that has the community towels and the different things that we'll need for outreach for the year, because none of that had ever been established.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
And then that still leaves
Commissioner
us with.
Repeat it now. You said the money is going to the foundation is for receipt of goods though, correct?
Oh, absolutely,
okay.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that is hygiene products and different things that we'll be able to put into the bags and stuff that we're purchasing from the other company.
Was all this, I'm assuming that all this request for funding was approved by the committee?
We had a meeting last week where everybody on our committee agreed to the purchasing of the items, and then we talked about what we would do with the money thereafter. I sent over a copy of those minutes to the town as well as a request for the invoices to be paid.
Okay. Commissioner Hamilton, you have something, since you're the liaison?
Mr. Scott, would you like to comment on that?
Not at this point. We did talk about it. We did sit down and talk about everything that she has on the list, that we have on the list as of right now. I've only been here a couple of meetings, so, but yeah, we did talk about everything.
I would like to talk about some of our successes too, if that's okay, if I have a second.
Well, I'd like to make a few comments here, because I did get some information that the committee actually wanted different things, but were told no, they couldn't have it.
I think what the difference
That's what I got.
I understand. I think what the difference was that we had talked about, and again, I've only been here a couple of times. We had talked about, we were thinking more towards food or the things that they needed, but,
I think once we got together and had a conversation, we realized that, and they were under the understanding that with my assets and resources with Cumberland County, there's no need for us to purchase food out of our budget because all of that is donated through Fayetteville Urban Ministry and our Second Harvest Food Bank. We have partnerships with them already, so there's no need for us to purchase food for the year when we can get it from them. Therefore, we're taking that money and putting it into our marketing materials and investing it smartly.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor. And I can tell you, consumables, what as I call toiletries, that is probably one of your most expensive expenditures.
Exactly,
it really is,
yes.
because every time I give a homeless person a bag of soap, they come back 2 days later, they have lost it or misplaced because they're homeless.
Right.
And they can leave it hanging around if they don't have a bag to put it in.
And just so you know, our intent with the rest of what's left in our budget is to be used to purchase hygiene products for the rest of the year, and we plan on clearing all of that out.
Thank you all. That's
The only comment that was made was they didn't agree with the shirts for $1,642 and the
Well,
tote
I can
bags.
submit 3 proposals where I went and got 3 other requests from 3 different companies and let you know that that is the lowest cost for the rate, and they're offering us free items as well.
Right, well, they didn't agree with the shirts to begin with. They said they wanted to purchase things for the homeless, such as plates, utensils, and
Well,
things
he's here.
like
If he feels
that.
that way, he can say that.
Excuse me?
He's here. If he feels that way, he
Well,
can say that.
no.
I'm telling you what I received.
That's not,
That's what I received. Go ahead, Mr. Scott.
no, I was gonna say, when you say he, I don't know, I haven't had a conversation with you or anybody outside of this, so I don't know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Well, I've got it here, and I'm just saying, I wouldn't be saying this unless I had it. And I'm just explaining what the other committee members,
Do you have a name of someone?
I'm not gonna give you the name, but it's.
We only have one other person.
Well, I know that, I understand that, and I'm not gonna argue the point. But
Well,
what
you
I'm
just-
saying is we asked for several things that we didn't want to. We asked for several things, and everything that we asked for was turned down, but what she wanted, so we let her have her way, but we did not agree, and we felt forced. That's what I was given. And that's what, I'm just telling you what was said to me.
Well, I think the
didn't
main
write
goal
this.
here tonight is we need to come to an agreement because we have a deadline and we have a budget.
Well, I understand
I
that.
asked for an extra $1,000 also at the beginning of my budget session when we talked about this because I wanted it for community partnerships and you guys all agreed on it and it was voted on. And I want to also be sure that I still have that extra $1,000 allotted because I want to use it for our partnerships with the Cumberland County Police Department or with the Fayetteville Police Department.
If you didn't use it all, then it's still there.
Perfect,
So don't
but
worry
when I
about
went back
that.
and talked to Ashley, it wasn't listed in the notes, so I wanted to come before you publicly and make sure that that extra $1,000 is allotted in our budget, so we have a $6,000 budget.
When was this requested?
It was approved.
So, if I may, originally at the onset of the year in February, when the committees did their initial reports, or their first quarterly reports, they did request the additional $1,000. I think, though, that the confusion may be that those presentations were for the upcoming fiscal cycle and not necessarily for this fiscal cycle. But they did request it, and the board
remember that.
did approve it at
Yeah.
that time.
Thank you, Ashley, because we were looking at next fiscal year,
Okay, so
starting in
that's gonna
July.
be for that.
That's what I was kind of confused on, was like, I don't remember,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that if it was,
yeah.
okay, that's fine.
So tell me about these shirts. How many shirts are we talking about here?
It's 150 t-shirts, I don't have the.
For who?
thing.
Who's gonna wear 100, who's gonna wear 150?
So the t-shirts are gonna be long-sleeved and short-sleeve shirts. They're gonna be shirts that we can also give out to our committee members. We can give them out to the people in the community. We can give them to the homeless people that we have within our groups that we're
We
dealing.
don't have 150 homeless people.
You don't have to have 150 homeless people to show and market what you're doing. That's not the goal with the t-shirt.
152 shirts.
I just, just the way I look at it like, we need to take care of homeless people, not buy 150 t-shirts.
That's fine. So if you feel like that we need to cut the cost back for the t-shirts, I think that's great. But I think that our committee deserves to be marketed the same way that our town is. We are here, we are established, and people need to know who we are, what we do. And that's how I get my branding and partnerships and get the money and funding that I get that has allowed me to not use the budget that you've given me.
I don't know. How does the rest of the board feel about that?
I'm not
This
sure.
marketing, I'm talking about committees that I have been involved in and supported. We will purchase t-shirts for the individuals that is on the committees,
There you go.
but we do not purchase t-shirts. And we might purchase maybe some cheap t-shirt without anything on it that, for the parade. Matter of fact, parade is a prime example. And we actually limit the amount of shirts that we buy for zoning for participants only, active participants of the group and organization. But
These are also going to be used because we can't sell the shirts. We can also raffle them when we have different events and host different things within the community. We're working on a motorcycle event with the Hive. We're working on different partnerships. That's what a lot of those t-shirts are for as well. So that money does come back to our committee and our pocket. Even though we can't sell them, we can raffle them off at all of our community events.
The other issue that I have is the meeting was at the Hive instead of the VFW. There wasn't 48-hour notice to have this meeting. So that was an unauthorized meeting.
Who was that complaint from? I invited you to the
I'm
meeting
not-
and you didn't show up.
That's another issue that we'll discuss.
You
at a
had
later
more
time.
than a 48-hour notice. You haven't showed up to the last two meetings that we've
Point of
had.
order, we're not going to argue. We're not going to argue.
Okay.
You're not going to extort me
Okay.
either.
Nobody's,
Royal.
point of order, okay?
Royal.
That's it.
What else you got on your?
I have nothing else to say. I just
what
want
else
my
you got on
budget
this invoice?
approved.
What else on this invoice? It was t-shirts?
There's towels on there.
How
The
how
towels
many
are
towels?
donated, so they're free.
Okay.
They're not in there. And then the bags are there. They're labeled with our logos for our outreach work so that we can put our hygiene products and different things.
How many bags?
I can't remember now.
100 bags
Yeah.
for $595.
So we're taking off the t-shirts, but you want to still order?
I don't want to take off the t-shirts. We still need t-shirts. We need some t-shirts. There's a benefit to us having those t-shirts. As a
How many
marketer,
t-shirts?
Mayor,
Not 150.
We may not need 150, but I'm not willing to back off not having any T-shirts. We have no marketing material for our committee at all, and that's not acceptable.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I did just want to point out that as of maybe a week or so ago, which they haven't made any purchases, they did still have roughly $4,000 in their budget for this
Because of my
fiscal cycle.
partnerships, not this town's
So-
work.
They do have the funds if that's the concern.
Well, that's not the concern.
Okay.
It's 150 T-shirts is the concern. It's not the
There's
concern
12
about
months
the
out of the year, 150 divided by 12. We have outreach work, we have events planned, we have all of these things, and then we have our homeless community. So I don't feel like that's an asinine number.
The T-shirt's got to be restricted to just the committee members only. That's just my personal opinion, because every organization that requests swag, they either get the hats or the T-shirt or something like that to identify the committee, so that folks will know who you represent and who you're there. But to just 150,
So we can cut the number back, but to put it to only our committee members, we have 3, so that would be us ordering 3 T-shirts. That's not okay. So I would at least like to have 50 T-shirts for our year. This is for the remaining time that we have. We have events, we have people on our committee, and then we have people to give them to.
I agree with Commissioner Mitchell.
Of course you do.
What do you got? What do you got?
I'm inclined to agree with Commissioner Hamilton, Commissioner Mitchell, in that the T-shirts should only be purchased for the committee. Being a part of several organizations, like 10.
As am I.
I have 2 T-shirts, and I'm a grand officer, and all I have are 2 T-shirts, and I've had those 2 T-shirts since 2018. So I just wash them and rewear them.
Right.
My recommendation for the committee would be just committee T-shirts. Me personally, outside, even if I was not a member of the board nor a citizen in the town of Hope Mills, I would not be inclined to purchase a T-shirt.
Well, they weren't for purchase because you can't purchase a T-shirt like that. It would be for.
I thought you said that if you
No, you
couldn't
could raffle them
resell
off at events.
Right, I wouldn't be, yeah. So it would just be the recommendation for the committee only, no one else.
Okay. Committee only. That's what consensus.
So I'm ordering 3 T-shirts. That's what you're saying. I just want to confirm that on the record.
Committee only. On T-shirts, how
Do I
many?
need to order one for the liaison too?
And then what about these bags? 100 bags?
Mm-hmm.
How does everybody feel about 100 bags?
For $595, that's a lot.
How about 50 bags?
I'd 20.
No, I want 50 back. We have more than 20 homeless people in the town of Hope Mills.
50 bags? 50?
Okay.
This is
Wanna go with
crazy.
50
We'll go
bags?
50. We'll go 50 bags.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now we're down to 50 bags. All right, what else is on there?
Rally Tales, 100 for $295.
That's under the $500 limit. Like,
Rally towels.
I don't know, yeah, Rally.
What is a rally towel?
those are for free. Those are a gift with our invoice, but they're not going to be because you're cutting it down. So I'm going to have to go back to this company and get it re-invoiced because it's all being cut down, and I'm sure they're not going to give us all those free items when we're not spending that amount of money. So
right.
I'll have to have it all reevaluated.
Okay. Is
That's
that
not
it?
how that works.
What else was on? You had 2 invoices, right?
There was 2 invoices. The one with Marius Maximus Foundation, $565, I believe, and then the one with 800 teas with Corinne Keys.
The other one with the still water bottles, long sleeve sweatshirts, working gloves, solar lights, gift bags, dove face, that can be used for the homelessness people, I believe. That will help. The solar lights for, like at night when they're out in their tents and things, they have light instead of flashlights or candles. And the rest I think is okay. Dove facial, everybody can use that, especially, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so we're only making a couple changes, right? Bags and T-shirts, and that's it?
Yep.
All right. Okay.
So can we talk about some of the positive things now, guys?
Yeah.
Perfect. We've made some really good strides. We've partnered with Cape Fear Valley Integrated Health Unit. We're going to have them come out. They're going to be with us at our Juneteenth celebration. Me and LaMarco have chatted about that today. I have enacted a program that's going to allow all of our committee members to be trained on how to administer Narcan, which is great. We've partnered with a company that's going to make sure that our committee has that at all times, as well as is also helping supply our police department. Our committee is the one who actually funded and got the funding for your no cop-out, dropout program for the Hope Mills Police Department. And we're working more to build partnerships with that. That was also my goal for next year for that extra $1,000 is to work within the county and Fayetteville Police Department to make sure that we're all on the same page and investing in our youth.
You did what with the police department?
Our committee is the one who went out and got the funding to fund the no cop-out, dropout program for the PD at Hope Mills PD.
Chief is saying no. He's shaking his head no.
Chief is right in the back, and he is saying no.
So is Deputy Chief.
I didn't get that money for you?
Well, now.
What Royal's talking about is she made a connection with ServPro, which is a crime scene cleanup organization, and they came and they said that they weren't aware of the amount, but they said that they would support future programs. But all of our, and we have not received a check from them yet, although the program is started. We expect that they would contribute something, but we're not sure which program they're going to support. But the program is being supported by tons of donations and through our cadet budget line item.
Thank you, Chief.
Chief, but you guys did receive a check at Walmart, right? Didn't you guys receive?
That was for Shop with the Cop.
Yeah, okay.
$1,500, yes, sir.
All right, okay.
Thank you, Chief.
Don't worry, I'll check on that payment for you in the morning.
ServPro, I know the guy, I know that dude.
You do. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
I have a,
That's it.
Mayor, I have a question.
Wait a minute, Royal.
Well, comment.
Back to the mic.
I don't need Royal, I need the commissioners. Is everybody comfortable with just whoever administering Narcan? Like,
When you're
if the
properly
committee members are trained to do Narcan?
Chief,
Because I sent a message to our town manager and asked him, and he said that
Good question.
it was our committee and it was our decision. And I thought it would be a great decision for us to have that in our bylaws, that if you're going to be a part of our committee, that you're trained in having the knowledge of knowing how to do that. However, can I finish?
Yes. Sorry, excuse me.
However, I don't know how that works. That's why I reached out to the town manager and asked him what the bylaws would be for that and how the legalities of that would work.
Chief, you want to weigh in on this?
Yes. So, although Narcan, they'll give known drug dealers their own family their dose of Narcan. I would not recommend the homeless committee administering Narcan because what people don't realize is that when people snap out of that high, they're often very violent. And I would not, and oftentimes we have to restrain them and then put them on. I would not recommend civilians without law enforcement personnel there administering Narcan. Although it's a nice idea, those sometimes when they snap out of that high, they're extremely violent.
Yes. And Chief, if you don't mind me adding, there's also the possibility, if you're not careful, they can double and run over DN anyway.
Well, not under Narcan. You can't.
Not off Narcan, but I know because we had Narcan box in front of the homicide center. That's why.
Oh yeah. I mean, the Narcan, it's either going to work or it isn't going to work. But they snap out of that and they don't realize what occurs or who's there, and they can become extremely violent. So.
And if you give them too much, too, if you give them a second shot or something, then if people aren't trained, then it's not a good thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't give them, like, if you give them one shot and another shot, you can't overdose them on Narcan. It doesn't work that way. But the only thing I would recommend is because of when they snap out of that, they're violent sometimes. Okay. I would be very careful, yeah, especially by themselves.
Thank you, Chief.
All right. I'm glad we got that cleared up. That was a good question. Commissioner Trimmel, that was a very, very good question, because we surely don't want to do that.
Make sure that we know that's just not in the bylaws, I think.
Chancellor, you got that right? Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. Yee. Giddy up. All right. It's an amazing meeting tonight. I'm here to tell you. This has been something tonight. All right, who's up next? Prime Movers. I don't know. Brittany, we may have to move her. I don't know.
I think we are.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
All right, Prime Movers.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Board, Mr. Manager, and staff. My name's Tiffany Brisson. I'm the Secretary of the Prime Movers. If anyone is unfamiliar with our committee, we are aimed at retaining the 18 to 39-year-olds within Hope Mills. So we have a lot of passion, a lot of fun. We're often called a millennial group, but that's no longer the case. You know, the age group has shifted some. I only have a brief update for you this evening. We are down to 2 members. So the only thing that we need at this point is just some new members. Keep in mind, you know, 18 to 39-year-olds, we would love to have their voices on this committee so that we can, you know, participate in activities and things that 18 to 39-year-olds like. So that is what we'll be focused on membership in the near future.
All righty. Is there any funding requests that you guys need?
Not at this time, but we are meeting tomorrow, so we will have any requests by the end of the week.
Okay, because that's Brittany's deadline. She's over shaking yes up and down. Okay, all your committee's been granted a couple extra days. We thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
Last one is our Veterans Affairs Committee.
Mr. Mayor, the chair, Mr. Lopez, couldn't be here this evening, but he did email me, and the only funding requests that they have are just they want to get name tags for the 7 members on their committee when it's at its full capacity. But that's the only thing that they requested that requires funding.
Okay. All right. You good with that? Okay. Then we're good then. All right. We're done with presentations. We added item C. We added Brittany. What do we want to do?
I think we should.
It's at 8:42.
I think, you think she should come? Yeah, they can watch the replay. It's been recorded.
I would recommend that maybe we can suggest for people to watch the recording of the previous session. And then if any questions they have, they can bring them back to the June 8th, and I'll be here to answer any questions that they may have.
Okay, so just as a reminder, we get the band back together at 5:30 on June 8th. We've got some leftover items to talk about. And then the public hearing starts at 7. Yep. So we'll scratch item C, and we'll look at June 8th, 1 week from today. And like Brittany said, please, it's an excellent presentation. It's streamed. It's going to be on YouTube. Go back and look at it as many times as you need to, because it's very, very well researched, and it's the presentation we should have received on April 30th. All right. Next, public comments. Jim Morris, you're up. Currently still the commander of Post 10630, but not for long.
Actually.
Not for long.
No, today.
Don't have the state convention yet. He doesn't turn over until next weekend. With the incoming post commander.
How are we doing today? My name is Jim Morris. I live at 3725 Floyd Drive in Hope Mills. I just had some additional comments that I didn't get to last time I was up here. And I'd like to tell you a little bit more about what the Post does for this community, because I think there's a lot of confusion for some reason. We have 3 marquee events that we do at this Post. We do Memorial Day, we do Veterans Day, and we do Wreaths Across America. We're always in the Fayetteville Observer as being the only group that does this ceremonies right every single year in Cumberland County. Our core programs are Voice of Democracy and Patriots Pen. Since our Post has stood up in 1989, we've given away over $20,000 in scholarships to students who live here in Hope Mills. And I want to emphasize, here in Hope Mills. on there. We recognize our teachers, we recognize our police officers, our firefighters for the great work that they do for our communities, along with some other unsung heroes. And we distribute Buddy Poppies to raise money for our relief programs. We've made significant contributions over the last couple of years with our relief programs, specifically buying batteries for wheelchairs. The batteries on those wheelchairs do not last very long and that stuff, and they're not very cheap either. We collaborate with other veterans organizations in this town, and we've improved that park substantially, although looking over there now, it's kind of difficult to tell that. You know, we're instrumental in getting that new fence over there. We replaced all the benches. The cannon was painted. We organized the cleaning of the monument. We have a long-term development plan for that park, which we plan to initiate after the construction of Rockfish Road is done. We got the sidewalk installed over there to help people in wheelchairs not get stuck in the mud. And working with the CCVC, we were instrumental in getting a $50,000 grant to get that parking lot over there so that people could park relatively close to that monument and stuff. Additionally, we worked this past year with adults and troubled youths, giving them volunteer hours, court-ordered volunteer hours, cleaning up the property at the post and going out to people's homes and taking care of things at their homes. And as I come down to my last 30 seconds, I would just like to say, you know, this group that came in here last weekend, while I'm sure they do great things for people, they're a New York-based group. They are not a Hope Mills group. Okay, they came into our community. They did not coordinate with any of the Hope Mills veterans groups. I looked at that group's financial statements, and they're substantial. They have millions of dollars in the bank. They have sponsorship from 2 NFL teams. And they came to our community, and they raised over $10,000, which they brought back to New York. And it's unlikely that any of our citizens are going to experience support from that money. Your VFW post in Hope Mills, everything we raise directly supports the citizens of this town and this community. And we would appreciate a little bit more support from the town. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Next up is our former commissioner, Elise Craver. I don't have to tell everybody it's 3 minutes, right? Okay.
Are you telling me I talk too much? No. I wrote it down so I wouldn't.
No, you've timed it out. I know you have.
Okay. Elise Craver, 3606 Lakeshore Drive. There's a new video out that our state auditor, Dave Bolick, put out on our budget issues, and I can't say it as well as he can, so I'm going to try to just play it for you if you'll listen to it.
What if your town was projected to lose $1.5 million in a single year? Hello, I'm State Auditor Dave Bolick, and unfortunately, that's the financial situation our office found in the town of Hope Mills. My office recently conducted an investigation after receiving multiple allegations through our tip line. What we found raised serious concerns about the town's financial health and oversight. Our investigation found that Hope Mills was projected to see about a $1.5 million decline in its fund balance for the fiscal year of 2025. That projection is tied to how the town used its reserve funds. The town typically budgets to use around $500,000 from reserves each fiscal year. Instead, it spent about $1.7 million in the last fiscal year, more than 3 times the usual amount. After accounting for revenues and expenses, that level of reserve spending resulted in a projected fund balance loss of approximately $1.5 million. Much of that overspending was enabled through budget amendments approved with very limited transparency, meaning that some expenses didn't clearly appear in the regular budget process or annual financial statements. We also substantiated findings that certain town employees received unjustified salary increases, some as high as 10 to 12% above approved levels. without proper documentation and without approval required by town policy. It is important to note that not all the allegations made on the tip line were in fact substantiated. The good news, however, is that the town leadership has acknowledged the findings and has committed to corrective actions, including adopting a formal fund balance policy and strengthening internal controls. Reports like this from the Office of State Auditor are vital for making sure local governments manage your taxpayer dollars responsibly today so communities aren't put at risk tomorrow. To read the full report and learn more about what we found in Hope Mills, click the link in our profile and make sure to follow the Office of State Auditor for more important updates like this. What if your town was projected to lose $1.5 million in a single year?
Is that 3 minutes?
3 minutes and some change.
Huh?
That video's about 250.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's about
Can I just
250.
say one thing? Since
thing.
y'all have, according to Mr. Bolick, the town leadership y'all have recognized and acknowledged that these findings, and that you are committed to correct these findings. What I'd like to ask you to do is to please tell the taxpayers where this money is going to come from without burdening our taxpayers with a third tax increase.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elise. Next up is Jennifer. I didn't have a mic on anyway. Jennifer Stewart.
Do I need to press this? Jennifer Stewart Hickson, 5789 Rockfish Road. I'm here to talk about the auditor's report, the taxes, and I got to sit into a little bit of the budget report that you were talking about. So I've got something to address out of that, but I will keep it under 3 minutes. First, I'd like to say, I love Hope Mills. I have respect for everyone that works for the town of Hope Mills. Now, the auditor's report did give 21 recommendations. And I've got the recommendations, and most of it says that you will either look at it, you will implement it, or you will try to figure it out. I want to know how many of these 21 that were given have you actually figured out and are implementing now. The other thing is, they were talking about cost of living increase. This is my personal opinion, but those 7 people that's in the auditor's report, he did say it was 7, if they've already had above the cost of living increase in 2025, as big as what he says it was, in the following years, when the other ones get their cost of living increase, I think theirs should be froze at least until the other ones reach the point that they are. You've got to cut it somewhere. You can't reward somebody for already over budgeting by giving that much of an increase. 12%, I think for a couple of years they can go without a cost of living increase. And I will be joining any committee that you want to put me on. You know where I'm going to be living, and which is right where they're putting the sidewalks right now. So just knock on my door. You know where I'm at. Thank you.
We thank you very much, Jennifer. Yep. Ron, you ready?
Yeah. It's hard to follow up, man. I lost my whole train of thought listening to the homeless committee. I ain't gonna lie to you. Everything, man, went out the window. But before you get started, a shout out to you guys on your possible garden out there. That's awesome. The best thing I've heard all night. Yeah, that was terrific. And also it was awesome seeing you at the Tunnels of Towers. It was a great event, as the mayor pointed out. The Gold Star wife was on point. Just everything. It was a class act out there. So, class act. Ron Kosteniak, Hope Mills, North Carolina. I'm here tonight to address the memorandum of understanding that was signed by our current mayor and town manager and the developers of Gulfview Apartments with an effective date of 2 July 2024. Every taxpayer in Hope Mills should be concerned. This MOI obligates the town to take responsibility for paving and maintaining a 50-foot wide driveway extending from Gulfview Road through the community green space to serve as a private apartment development. The MOI was reportedly justified to propose construction of a senior citizen center on the former golf course. It's my understanding this project has been rejected. So inquiring minds want to know, why are the taxpayers still expected to fund and maintain infrastructure that primarily benefits a private developer? I also don't understand why Commissioners Marley and Mitchell would support revisiting development on the Greenway during the recent budget retreat. We know that the town got hammered by the state auditor. We all know our financial reserves are under strain. Even considering costly capital projects on the Greenway demonstrates a troubling disconnect from the town's fiscal reality. What exactly are y'all thinking? The town struggles to maintain its own roads and infrastructures. Residents are now being told that another tax increase may be necessary. Yet somehow there's money to be available to build and maintain roadway for a private development. The citizens of this town are the taxpayers. We expect this board to exercise sound judgment, protect public resources, and why in the world are you allowing yourselves to be persuaded into repeating the mistakes that led to the state findings? You have publicly committed to improving oversight, accountability, and transparency. Now it's time to prove it. Y'all live in this town. You should be able to look your neighbors in the eye and reassure them that you have no desire to add financial burden to they are already carrying. Leave our green space alone. No pavement, no additional traffic, no unnecessary liability, no taxpayer-funded roadway for private developers. I also want to talk about this real quick. The town can't even manage a contract for lawn mowing services at the old golf course. It still hasn't been mowed. It hasn't been completed. I don't know what's going on out there. The town doesn't even show the slightest bit of concern that the taxpayers were overcharged by $1,000, aka the cash cows. That's what we already are. And now we're on the hook for this MOI. It also took the mayor himself to witness the safety concerns out there that I've been pushing over the last year that nobody wanted to listen to. Nobody gave two rats' asses about it. Sorry about the profanity. And I'm glad you've seen it. Unfortunately, you had to see it, but I'm glad you did. Let's take care of that golf course. Hats off to these guys right here. That's awesome. I can totally stand behind that. I'll even volunteer my services. Thank you. Have a great evening. And, God damn, that homeless shit was...
Thanks, Ron.
That was awesome.
Thanks.
That was great.
Next up, John Martinson.
Good evening. I'd like to start
Good
out,
evening, sir. What a night, I tell you.
I'd like to start out with a shout out to the three young ladies on the board who recently voted down by 3-2 a motion to develop the Greenway, which he was just speaking of. Good job, ladies. We appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. A few weeks back at your first budget meeting, a town commissioner used the term hard conversations. He repeated it several times in regards to budget and raising taxes. I'm here to suggest that you have options to explore without raising our taxes. The history of the Hope Mills tax rate is in 2013, it was 42 cents. This is taken from your adopted budgets on your website. From 15 to 23, it was 46 cents. So all those boards in between held the line on taxes. Then in 24, it went up, 25, it went down, and 26, you're proposing another increase. The 6-cent increase the town manager is proposing can be simply avoided by doing what boards in the past have done. You cut the budgets of some of your departments. as much as it pains me to say it, public safety is a big drain on the budget, or it's the majority of the budget. Public safety, from 13 to 2020, that was cut like every other year, then it would go up and it would get cut again. Starting in 2021, it went up $400,000, then $500,000, then $650,000, then $430,000, and then last year, a whopping $3.4 million. Understanding a lot of that might have gone to those RSOs, or school resource officers, but I suggest to you that if you aren't looking at the public safety budget, I humbly suggest you're doing it wrong. And a couple weeks ago, I was here and I respectfully requested that the town manager should be fired effective immediately, and you should, commissioners should encourage the mayor to resign because of that state audit. But I appreciate you listening to my concerns. Thank you very much, and go Hoosiers.
Thank you, John. Next up is Royal. I think she's gone. Yeah, all right. So lastly, Joanne Scarola.
Finish off an already entertaining meeting. So much fun. Yes, it has. Joanne Scarola, 5429 Archer Road, Hope Mills. So, talk about the budget and where we are today. So, people forget so quickly that for over a decade, we didn't do any tax increases. I was living here during that time. I had my house here. And nothing was done during that time. We didn't have the public safety building we had to pay back. We didn't have Heritage Park built. We didn't have a lot of stuff. Everything was in a holding pattern. We didn't have fire trucks on the constant rotation to get new ones. We didn't have to worry about SROs. So there was no need for a lot of this stuff. There wasn't anything we had to cut. Now we have a public safety building we have to pay off. We're going to phase 2 of Heritage Park. We're trying to get other stuff done. I say we when I mean you guys. You gotta get the money from somewhere. You can't rub 2 pennies together and hope it pays for itself. I mean, realistically, you're gonna have to raise taxes. And here's the thing that kills me is everyone asking money for their committees. Totally get it. What you need to start saying is, yes, we hear you, not this year. Or plan on spreading this out over 5 years because we're only gonna give you a portion of it. Do the $5,000? Hell, do less. Do $4,000, $3,000. If people want to complain about the budget, they need to start with their committees too. You know, because that's money right there. I seen that slide when I came in late of what you intend to cut from the committees. Don't even tell them what else do you need. Tell them what do you not need, because you're not going to get all your money for your committee. They want to complain about tax dollars and where their tax dollars are spent. Well, it's going to a committee so they can purchase T-shirts and all this other stuff. So, you know, charity begins at home. I would say do a fishing derby, but, you know, don't want to, you know, get, you know, donations. God forbid we do donations and I route it through the town, God forbid, you know. But just throwing that out there. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. Hook, line, and sinker on that fishing derby. Go Canes. So, all right. What a night. We're done with this. Okay. All right. We're now to page 2 at the 9:04 mark. We got the consent agenda, items A and B. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor? Seeing none opposed, consent agenda is approved. We jump down to item 6, old business. Again, none. We go to new business, item 7. Number 7, new business, item A, consideration and approval of the audit contract by Sharp Patel, CPA, for fiscal year 2025, 2026, to authorize the mayor and the staff to sign the contract, and that's under tab 3. Brittany, you got it?
Yes, sir. So the proposed audit contract, which you guys received a little bit earlier in the packet, is for the independent auditor to come in to audit when this fiscal year ends June 30 of 2026. And it's being requested that it's signed. It's already budgeted for, and there's no additional request from like the general fund for it. We've already budgeted for it.
To drop the price. Look like it has.
Okay.
Make the motion.
Got a motion, got a second. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, just for the record, I believe that you read the previous language after, before we updated it. So I put a fresh agenda up there, and just so it's on the record that it's the appropriate one.
Okay. I did not know. So I will reread it. Consideration and approval of the audit contract for Sharp Patel, CPA, for FY 26-27. Scope of work is FY 25-26, and to authorize the mayor and staff to sign the contract under tab 3.
I still make that motion.
Second.
Still got a motion, still got a second. Is there any discussion?
No, I already had asked her, and she explained everything, so.
You good?
I'm good.
All right. All in favor? Seeing none opposed? We're good there. Item B, consideration and approval of budget amendment number 30 to accept the NC Amateur Sports Youth Sports Grant Fund in the amount of $7,000. That's under tab 4.
Somebody giving us money?
Yes, they are. So we have the Town of Hope Mills Parks and Recreation Department, led by Director here, LaMarco Morrison, successfully secured a grant from the North Carolina Amateur Sports for athletic field and spectator area improvements at Municipal Park. So the budget amendment that you see for the $7,000 does not require any type of match. It does not require any type of general fund component. It is just an additional revenue in addition to the budget. But I think LaMarco wants to come up to share a little bit about the grant that they received.
Thank you, Brittany. Good afternoon again. I'd just like to say this budget amendment is actually in the other direction. Instead of taking from the general fund, we're actually adding revenue. Of course, you all got that already. But essentially, I want to give credit to Brenda Williams. Brenda Williams wrote the grant. We applied for a grant for $9,000. They gave us $7,000. But essentially, this grant is to pay for field improvements that are much needed to the infield, outfield, and the grass, and then also to add benches to enhance the spectator experience at the ball fields. And so all these funds must be spent in that fashion, and staff is asking that those funds be placed into the athletics line item so that we can go ahead and contract the work out and get the work completed. And I'll entertain any questions you may have.
This may be a question for Brittany. So are you using the 7,000 this year, or is this going to be in next year's budget?
It has to be spent this year.
It has to be spent by the end of the month.
Not the end of the month, but we do need to have the funds encumbered and a contractor selected to finish the work by the end of the summer.
Pending contract.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That was the main question I had was, are we using them now, or are we using them next year? Either in or out. Any other questions? Everybody good?
Like to make that motion.
All right, second?
Second.
All in favor? Seeing none opposed? We move on down to item C, consideration, discussion regarding residents serving on town commissions, committees outside town limits, but within the Hope Mills municipal influence area, there's no attachments. As the board knows, we've had several speakers come up and want to serve on our committees. So it's up to the discussion of the board of, do we allow people to serve on our committees? Commissioner Trammell?
Now, if I recall, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but some of the people that came up were asking, as long as they had a Hope Mills address, could they serve? And we're talking about staying within the MIA. And that address may not particularly be within the MIA. So are we gonna consider that, or are we just gonna keep it at the MIA? Considering we have like, what, 15 openings in committees?
Yes, ma'am. So, when this was requested to be put on the agenda by the mayor, what I suggested was kind of bridging the gap. So right now, the way your rules of procedures, language is described is that there can only be one member per committee that lives in the MIA. So what I thought might be a good discussion is maybe, either increasing that limit from one to whatever the board suggests, or maybe not having a limit for people that live in the MIA as long as it's in the Hope Mills MIA, but obviously that's to the pleasure of the board.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
we had discussion years ago, if I'm not mistaken, but we've been down this road before. Now, I know there's individuals that have a Hope Mills address, but they cannot vote in Hope Mills.
Right.
And we have some people that have a Fayetteville address, but they can vote in Hope Mills. Now, maybe we need to look at that and incorporate, I don't know how we can go about figuring that out or how we incorporate that piece, but I really think it would make sense because you can vote in Hope Mills, having a Hope Mills address. If you live in Hope Mills, well, not, you know, an MIA, that should be something we should look at and consider. How we go about figuring it out is.
So every time an application is submitted, I verify that the address is in either the Hope Mills town limits or in the MIA, and I run that through the planning department. So you're right, you can have a Fayetteville address and live in the Hope Mills town limits. Sometimes it's Parkton, or you can have a Hope Mills address, but you're out in Grace Creek outside of the MIA, or even in the Fayetteville MIA, which was the case with the gentleman that came a few meetings previous.
And this might be a question for Dan, and I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna use Alms House for instance. We say we support the Alms House people in the Alms House community. So we have created a map, and we drew a map of individuals that fall within our area of responsibility, and that's how we support that group of individuals. I don't know if something that we can look at, maybe expanding our map in that area to allow us to allow more people to join and be involved in our committees.
You certainly have the ability to do that. I mean, it's, the map is sort of a commissioner-drawn map that's based on, you know, the service area, and you're allowed to, you know, invite other people to join committees as you see fit. So you certainly have that authority.
Well, currently, anybody that's in the MIA can serve on a committee.
Right.
If the committee doesn't already exceed one member that's in the MIA. So if a person applies, I verify where their address is and if there's already a member on that committee that lives in the MIA. If there is, then I reject the application. If there is not, then I submit it forward.
I would, my opinion is, I think we need to stay with the MIA, but maybe increase the number.
Okay.
Just increase the number from 1 to maybe 3.
Right.
I mean, I'd like to stay within our MIA.
MIA, yes. MIA.
I mean, I think that's probably, or change it up.
5?
I wouldn't go that high.
I mean, how many? What's the average number on the committee? 7.
7.
So 7.
Yeah.
We go 4.
Just, I would go up to 3. No.
Let's go with 3.
3.
Okay. Let's go 3. You go with 3? Okay. Okay. Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Because of the, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Because of the challenges that we're having with not just some committees, but all committees are having challenges now. And this is by far, I think, the worst I've seen it since I've been involved in Hope Mills, and that's been 15 years strong. And we have never had this challenge of getting people to want to be involved in our committees. So I would like to make the motion that we increase it to at least 3 in the MIA.
I'll second your motion.
Second?
I second.
Okay, any further discussion? If none, all in favor? Seeing none opposed, we'll change it up to 3.
Do we need it?
Yeah, not in, it's, the limit will be 3. Yeah, the
Right.
limit will be 3.
Yeah, the
No
limit.
more than 3.
Yes, no more than 3.
Liaison updates, Commissioner Marley.
I have nothing.
Commissioner Hamilton.
I'll just make this real quick. We had a board meeting, the COC, Continuum of Care. They're wanting to do a Cumberland County mobile over-the-counter meds. I don't know where they want to have it. Yeah, they will also want to have a blood drive, food drive truck, and of course the over-the-counter meds, which is like your Tylenol, things that you can buy at the drugstore without a prescription. They also want to have a nonprofit summit for Cumberland County to try to build a quality plan to for purchases and discussion. They're also going to adjust, I believe, the pit count. It's in January. They're going to do some adjustments with that. And they're also waiting, I believe they're still waiting on HUD reimbursement for the money for the pit count. So I believe they're still waiting on that. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mayor. The last meeting was canceled in May. The next meeting is for FAMPO TAC. It's supposed to be in July. And then I have an alibi, if I could, real quick. Thank you, Karonda, so much for the words that you gave me for the ribbon cutting at Christ Worship Center. I appreciate you so much. I sent out the Hail Mary. I sent out the hailing signal, and she answered, and it was amazing. Thank you so much for helping me with that. Thank you.
Yeah, then, oh, okay.
Okay, as far as Mayor's Coalition met on May 15th. I couldn't be there that morning because I was at FTCC graduation ceremony. Mayor Pro Tem Hope Page went in my stead and attended the Mayor's Coalition. The next meeting is where?
It's at the city of Fayetteville on August 7th.
Okay, I should be able to get, yeah, I'll make that one. But it's rare that I'm not available to make some of these, to make that committee meeting. I think it's probably the first one I've missed. And the only reason is because I'm a participant at FTCC graduation. I was there for our students. Okay, item 9.
Motion to conduct closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318, 11A3, attorney-client privilege, A5, land acquisition, and A6, personnel.
Have a motion, have a second? Second. All in favor? Okay. Seeing none opposed, we're going back to closed session. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back out of closed session. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes. I move to seal the minutes of the closed session until such time as the release of the information would no longer frustrate the purpose of the closed session and further no action was taken. Did we take it?
Okay, second?
Second?
All in favor? Seeing none opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.